Hi!
Hello!
Welcome to Mom's Talk with a French accent. We're the French moms.
Yeah, we have a French accent.
We have the accents. We took it with us today.
What is one thing that you did that was only for yourself today?
Okay, so Fanny and I have to admit something.
Yeah. I was like, it's a lot.
We are privileged enough to have our family overseas. And in the summer, we ship our kids for 2 months out there. So this morning in particular, we've been doing a lot for ourselves, like breakfast.
I started by a run with my husband, actually. We were able to take time for us together. And I drink my coffee, like with a silence, quiet, clean house. And a long shower. What else? A lot. Like, I mean, everything about me.
You're lucky to remove the kids from the equation. Then all of a sudden you realize you have a ton of time.
And now I truly understand my mom, because when I was teenager, when I asked her, what do you want for your birthday? And she kept like saying, you know, I want quiet time, like nothing, just quiet time. And I was like, boring. And now that I'm a mom, I totally understand why she asked that. It's like just nothing, like really nothing. I want nothing to do. I want nothing to prepare. I can truly understand her answer right now.
It is an incredible responsibility to become someone's parent. And I would hope that in this next generation of mothers, that we understand that a birth of a mother is basically a birth of you, but like in a different phase of your life. Like it's always been you. And you are going to be who mothers this child. It's not going to be the mother that you saw on Instagram. It's not going to be the mother that you saw down the street, you know, the mother that on TV tells you you're supposed to be. It is your journey. And the stronger that you are as a person, the more able that you are going to be as a mother. I just love embarrassing them because I just think it's just like so fun. Okay, my son, we're out at playground, we're outside the older siblings' school, and literally he has to pee. Of course he has to pee, right? And we're like 5 blocks from home, right? So my husband's like, fine, do you see the building? Pee on the building. We're at the park. Like, what are we going to do? And he was like, I will not pee my older siblings' school. Like I was like, to him, he was like he was going to be doing graffiti. He was like, no. So they had to walk away. But this same kid, Izzy turned to me one day and they were in the bath together. And Izzy turns to me and gives me this warm cup. And I was like, what is this? And Izzy turns and says, this is Andre's pee. And he's potty training. So I turned to him, I'm like, if you can pee into this cup, right? You can definitely pee into the toilet, right? But that's why those first 5 years of life are so important for you to be around. You get to see a little glimpse of how she is. I guarantee she won't be any different at 15. You know, you'll be having.
It's very scary for me.
And I mean, they don't change. It's the same freaking kid, you know?
Truth is, we have no clue what we're doing. Like most of us don't. If we have a first child and then the second come along, we're like, oh, I get this. And then everything is thrown at us again. We don't know what we're doing second time around, third time around. So I don't want people to think that it's come with pressure of like, you have to be confident because you know what you're doing. It's just, you have to be confident to embrace the fact that you're there, you're present, you're just like into it, and you're going to make mistakes. You're going to own up to it. You're going to learn from it and keep the ball rolling, right?
I think I'm going to give you 7 years old. That's where it gets really complicated. Having children is wonderful though. Like it's really wonderful. If you're pregnant or expecting, it's fantastic. It's just, you know, it's a little complicated.
But we'll be here every step of the way. Like we were here today.
They have those like big hats that like have like beer in them, and then you can like suck the beer, right? I was like, somehow we could make that, and it's like connected to broth, you know? Like, you just suck the broth while you're breastfeeding. So you're like, yep, I'm just refilling the vending machine. Don't worry, I'm good, you know?
You've been pregnant for 9 months, so you are the queen. Everybody is here for you. You are on top of everything. And all of the sudden, the baby is here. So you are no one. Like everybody comes and say, oh, he's so cute. And you're like, hey, I'm here. Nobody tell you about that, but you socially pass from the queen as like a mom, and your baby is the whole attention thing. So it can be like, for some people, maybe like a little bit hard to get that less attention.
And yes, everyone's excited to see the baby,
Yeah.
but who's producing the milk for the baby? You.
You mentioned, so the poop is a very good indicator of what's going on inside. And for Fanny and I, who are deep into the poop business, right? Like we made our own career around it.
I think you have to get a T-shirt that says "Poop is our business."
Good, yeah, that'd be a good one. We'll get people jealous of that one for sure.
We need to make a Le Petit Creme portable bidets.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
with our face on it.
yeah.
How about that?
That
sounds perfect.
So one of the studies I read a long time ago, what does it take for someone to break? If you have less than 4 hours of uninterrupted sleep, you start to go clinically insane. So when they do torture, they'll wake you up once an hour, right? That sounds like what a baby.
It sounds like a newborn. It totally sounds like a newborn.
Total, right? In total, I got like 10 hours of sleep, but I was up every hour feeding the baby.
Exactly.
When my kid was starting to learn to walk, I would take my hands and I would sit on them. And I remember Izzy once was, we were on like this concrete fell, and I go, like it was so hard for me. I had to like stop, and I was, and then Izzy looked at me, was a little about to cry, and looked at my eyes, and I was like,
Good job.
and they like dust themselves up, and they got up and they kept walking.
For my own first pregnancy, it took me the longest time to even think about a baby. I was pregnant, so I had a belly and I had something inside that was growing into, I would think about it, talk to it, but I couldn't see like a child. And then when my baby was born, the first thing I told myself when she came out was like, oh my God, it's a baby. Like, oh. As if I was expecting, I don't know, something else. But I was like, oh, no, there is a human here.
Right.
So it's not necessarily learning that the baby is a baby. It's like, who are you as a person?
Here it feels like you need to do a lot of it. And from a very young age, like gymnastic, soccer, like it's a lot of things that even daycare provides. It seems like a little bit overwhelming because like, my son is 18 months. How could he play soccer? Like, but that's something that is available in the daycare. Seriously, so I'm like, okay, but he's 18 months. So the ball is bigger than him. So I don't see the point, So, yeah.
Over the walking thing, I'm not exactly sure how the running and kicking the ball at the same time is supposed to work out.
Exactly.
It's always good to kind of schedule rest time. Like there's no reason that you have to be like super summer person. And that really does force kids to make something out of nothing. There's a big push right now to kind of allow kids to get bored so that they can have that self-initiated learning. They can kind of learn on their own as opposed to like having things pushed in their face. Try to live some of that. Take walks with them where there's no video or no nothing. And basically they have to amuse themselves with the sky, what's walking by, what they're seeing. Those are small moments that don't always exist in the school year. And I remember my husband and I were bringing our oldest, our first one, up the stairs, just going up the stairs to go to bed. And I knew because we just had like, a couple weeks of just crying, screaming. And as we're going up the stairs, the eyes are closed. All of a sudden, one eye opens like a pirate. And I remember I stopped and I turned to my husband. I was like, I don't want to go upstairs. Like, I don't want. And he looks at me. I was like, but we have to. It's time to go to bed. I'm like, but we're not going to go to bed. At that moment, I was like, I don't want this baby. Just bring him back. It's great. Who's going to take him now? Those are also moments. Those are just incredible moments, and you kind of get through them and you get to know your kid. And those are just as valuable as much as those moments that are just like pretty that everybody else kind of does. There is such joy in the work. Whether you like it or not, you are connected to your children. Let's just lay it out there. You are tied to these people. And good times and bad. I mean, this is even more than getting married. Like, this is like hardcore, right? You can't get divorced from your children. So assuming that connection is already there, the real question is that how do we create a healthy interaction?
That's pretty deep because sometimes that interaction, as you said, it's not like what we see on social media or what the world is telling us. It has to be love at first sight and it has to be like, your heart is exploding. Sometimes you're just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you're angry. I mean, I've been at moments where I'm like, oh my God, can you not go to sleep? Like, go to sleep. Like, I remember staring at this little baby, and I could see the eyes in the middle of the night, wide open. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, why didn't you awake? There is a whole lot of emotion that is the texture of your interaction with this kid.
When she does something and she doesn't want to stop, and we are reaching the point that we cannot get what we want, I always like ask her, do you want me to do it to you? Like if she hits her brother or she speak like bad and she has an attitude, and I said, do you want me to speak to you like you are talking to me?
Yeah.
Do you think it's like a good thing? Would you be happy if I talk to you that way? She said no. So I said, don't do it if you don't want people to do it to yourself.
Like
If you involve her, she understands that she doesn't want to be treated like that. So maybe it's more like clear for her what feeling it is.
Yeah, there you go. So, that's it. You just go right on the belly.
all right. Show your belly, buddy.
Yeah, there we go. Counterclockwise manner. And with your hand, like, with your fingers.
Fingers.
That's it. And really kind of, and that sometimes kind of soothes some of the gas, because again, as I said before, it shudders, it doesn't undulate. So that's kind of helping a little bit of that movement. So my kid would get constipated. And I remember 3 a.m, the baby was 3 months old, and I'm like just leaning over them, crying, right? And the baby cried, I cried, and my husband, he turned me around, he goes, aren't you a pediatrician? And I'm like, yes, I'm a pediatrician. I'm in the ER, and I had to like present it as if it wasn't my kid, because as a parent, I was freaking out.
I feel like we should always have that facade of like, everything is wonderful, and social media is not helping in that, where now to the outside world everything is always fantastic. So there is this fear, I feel like now with parents, that if you screw up once, your entire life of your kid is just like, that's it, you've broken the thing, it's never go back to like normal. So can you reassure us on that if we screw up every other day we're good?
Yeah, I mean, I'm at the everyday, so I don't know.
Perfect.
With that, you know, when the kids were young, when I would pee, I would leave the door open. He's like, why do you leave the door open? And I was like, because like I'm afraid someone's gonna yell if they need me, and I have to jump out. I won't hear them yelling for me. Like, you know how much time I have to pee in a day? Like, that really is annoying to have to think like that every single time. We're all human. It's our first time. It's their first time. We're still trying to figure it out. I think that as long as you make the effort and that you're honest with both yourself and your kids, I think there's nothing else that you can expect. You're going to mess up, and they're going to mess up, and everyone just is going to have to learn to interact with each other. But what a skill that you're teaching, right? You're really teaching them how to exist in society and be someone that, you know, someone enjoys to be around.
I would say it's not me first, it's me too.
Oh, that's great.
Look at that. Can we do a t-shirt for that?
We're going to be speaking all this slogans.
Hashtag whatever the kids do.
Misbehavior can come in many different forms. You have to understand the entire context and not make a blanket like you're misbehaving and that's it. Sometimes they're tired, where the punishment doesn't make any sense because they're actually like really tired and they're not really even understanding the whole context. Sometimes it's like the situation is really hard, and you just have to spend one moment to say, how can I help you understand how this is not healthy or this is healthy? My parents will be like, oh, we never went to dinner ourselves without you as children. And I'm like, I am like 50 years old. Am I supposed to be feeling guilty about this like for like ever? Like, I never told you not to go out to dinner. I don't know why they have to keep bringing it up. That was how they demonstrated how much they cared. That generation, it wasn't giving your kids more, it was the more selfless you were. Sometimes there's this whole mentality of, I'm not going to do things for myself every day, but like when it's the summer or when I go on vacation, I'm going to be happy. No, like I always would tell people, like, well, what if you got hit by a car like in the middle of December? Like, that's not a good way to live. Like, you should enjoy life every day. Shake away the glitter, right? Like, you know, there are glitter moments, but raising babies, it's frankly a very grounding, and it's a dirty and it's a tough moment, but it's actually really genuine and authentic and real.
And unexpected. Those moments come at the least expected time, right?
It's quality, not quantity. So I would much rather you be 100% during the time that you're with your children versus being 50% and being with them 100% of the time. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
You being present is more relevant to them.
We usually start with one word and we digress, or like end up making the scope even bigger. When we say we're going to have practical tips, it's usually more blurry after. But we hope that whatever you heard today is going to bring some slight change in your life for the positive. And we hope to see you soon for another episode of Mom's Talk with a French Accent. Bye, Dr. Perlman, and bye everyone. Have a wonderful day.